following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Last Orders, the podcast where we look back into the films our Hallmark favourite actors and directors would rather forget that they were ever involved with. I'm Joe, and with me as always, lovely and clean after escaping from the secret room of blood, it's James.
Oh, it was so cold in there. That's what everybody said about it.
Should have put a top on. And fresh from his police alibi-riddled trip to the deli for a pizza that is all onions, it's Planty.
I am managing a band of clowns.
Oh, mate. That episode. If you want to follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word, or Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. If you have a film you think we should watch because you hate us, send us an email at hallmarkofgreat@gmail.com. How are we all?
Brilliant.
You're on holiday soon, aren't you?
Well, I'm on holiday. I am. I'm going on a big metal bird. But I've had a brilliant time.
Sky bird.
I'm going on that big golden one to the golden cities of Aztec.
Cities of Gold.
Cities of Gold. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is all before your time, James.
Yeah, and know nothing of this. I hope you're going somewhere warm so that you don't actually have to, burn money all the time trying to heat a house.
Yeah, I am, but unfortunately I burnt money on the holiday, so...
Is that cost efficient? Let's find out.
Shaved all the dog's hair off and have woven it into a blanket. See. It grows back very quickly. Right, let's do this week's film. It's a good one for once.
Oh, it's a belter.
It's got something going for it.
1983's Endgame, or to give it its original title, Endgame, Bronx Lotta Finale, which I'm assuming means the final Bronx.
Bronx Final Fight.
That's
very,
even
very
better.
close. Yeah.
Oh man, if Mick Hagger, the mayor of Metro City, came out, that was Final Fight, wasn't it? James, fire up the machine.
Yeah, so we've got this random plot generator that's driven by you, the fans, and it's decided today that it's called the Mecha Storyline Droid of Logic.
Ooh.
It says it's had a look at Endgame Bronx Lotta Finale, and it's come up with Sandra Endgame is a rural baby shower planner who must battle rival martial artists on Fight Island, or else she will face unknown numbers of intruders on her property. Along the way, Sandra encounters Raymond Rugg, a singer of sweet, sweet melodies who doubles as a drummer in a skiffle band. Things get going when an asteroid hits planet Earth and the unlikely duo must work together. Will they come out of this financially secure? To some extent, yes.
An unknown amount of intruders is the worst amount of intruders.
Yeah, I think
Have we got them all? I don't know.
That was kind of inspired by Empire of the Dark. The other bit that I saw sort of leeching in from previous episodes is the Fight Island, I think.
Fight Island is Bloodsport 2.
Bloodfist 2, yeah.
Bloodfist 2, sorry, not Bloodsport. Yes.
Yeah, think shitter, and in the Philippines, and you're there.
Bloodfist 2 is a masterpiece. Much better. That's where we got the polls, all the poll facts.
Oh yeah,
from.
it's good shit.
That
makes me sound way more street than I feel. Yeah.
The actual synopsis: a telepathic mutant recruits a post-World War III TV game show warrior to lead her band of mutants to safety.
There's a lot of hyphens in that, isn't there?
That's
Post-World War
stuff.
II, futuristic.
The best bit is the tagline on the actual poster. As an Endgame champion in the year 2025, there's only one way to live: dangerously. And I'm like, based on this film, everything's dangerous.
Dost thou want to live dangerously?
I mean, I loved this, to be fair.
I liked this because it reminded me of films I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a low-budget version of other films.
Yeah.
All filmed in what appears to be an abandoned milk bottle processing plant somewhere.
Yeah, I did expect them to go into a room somewhere and there'd be Fallout-style turrets for them to read stories of what happened to the previous owners.
Nope, none of that. Just lots and lots of quarry-based action.
Yeah.
You know me, I love a quarry in a film. We open up with two. Did I write them down, or was I too busy laughing? Of the production companies.
Oh, yeah. One of them's Filmer Rage.
Which is good. That's because
It's good.
it fills me with rage.
Or that filmy rage that you get out of there. But,
These titles look like threads, didn't it? It looked like a much more serious film.
Well, it was
there's a nuclear explosion in the background.
over a big mushroom
music.
cloud.
Yeah.
Also, music in this is cracking. It's like someone watched The Warriors and then went, I'm going to get hit in the head a lot with a cricket bat and then try and recreate that.
That's the sweet sound of Carlo Maria Cordio on a Chroma Rhodes synthesizer, I've been told.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. He did do a brilliant job. I have no qualms about saying
No, the music was great. There was
great.
one bit, I think, where they were driving the Bedford Rascal off. It went a bit so... And I was like, this is supposed to be a serious film of the future here. But we are introduced to a city.
Yes, it's the Bronx. But it doesn't say that
Never
it's the
says
Bronx.
it's the Bronx because it isn't the Bronx, is it?
But the titles around the world confirm that it is the Bronx. The Tannoy announces, though, that it's 2025, so not much longer to go. And actually, I think we are about 75% of the way towards the nuclear winter that it envisages.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it also says that the Endgame tournament started in 2012. But this is the 27th one, so do they do like leap years or
Or there's like a winter summer sort of style Olympics situation.
Oh, there's like winter
on.
Endgame and then summer Endgame and then Champion of Champions. It's like countdown in that respect. And we're told that the Endgame. We come across some mutants.
I thought it was an old crone. Yes.
Everyone in this film who is a mutant looks like a Russian babushka. Like,
it makes weird craven noises and scuttling around. It's brilliant.
There's this tasty looking corpse, isn't there? That's quite blatantly just a dummy. And these two people grab it and pull it aside. And in the next shot, it's a human. It's an actor, and it looks nothing like it. And it's question mark alive.
I thought that because they were knocking rats off it, like left, right, and centre. And then the next minute, I thought they were eating it, but then it started
they were,
moving.
but I thought it was alive.
Well, it was moving, or it was giggling.
Yeah.
Get off!
The rats were very wet.
They were.
It was very much. It gave me feelings of a really annoying little child in a fucking Plague Tale game.
I thought you'd been activated like a Manchurian candidate then. The rats were very wet.
A police van rocks up at this point looking for mutants, and they've got a special mutant scanner that says mutant, mutant, mutant. And
this van looked like it was made out of Pickford boxes.
When it pulled up
again and again,
I was like, why are they driving around in an ice cream van?
They were very proud of that. They got it into almost every shot that the SS security services turn up at. How did they get that through SS?
It was Italy in the 70s.
Fascists,
late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, I mean, nothing's changed, has it?
Hey, topical.
Anyway,
full
the SS,
circle.
and they've all got big leather trench coats. I mean, it's not actual leather, but they've got big
Pleather.
trench coats, and they've got masks on.
They
See two of those pariahs run out for no reason and then get shot. And then they're
our heroine Lilith of the medieval quoit headband. Just lurks. This mutant detector gun, very limited range.
It was
on
off that day. You need to slap it about a bit on the side, and
a centimetre of concrete, and the whole thing falls apart. But they run off. The police officers had very big. Have you played We Happy Few?
No, I've watched a bit of a playthrough on it. Yeah,
it gave big vibes of that. But obviously it isn't. But they chase these mutants down and then they shoot them.
The line he uses is, "We don't have anything to fear from them except contamination, which could kill you. So surely you should be fearful of them."
I also like this class of the pariahs. There's a lot of world building in the first third, right? That then goes completely unheeded for the
Don't worry about it.
later
When we get
of the film.
to lot of Bronx too. Mucho Bronx.
Yeah, so we're introduced at this point. The announcement says that it's the end game. It sort of cuts to Ron Shannon, who is the 22 season-long winner, as you said, and he's painting his
Non-Union
face.
Christopher Lambert.
Non-Union David Harbour.
Have you got one?
I didn't. I didn't
Non-Union
know.
Orange Cassidy.
I was too busy just writing down because I was very pleased with myself. He's painting his face because he's in the names. It's just like some kind of unspoken rule that we've got that this is what we do now. We
It's
just
the
watch
future.
them.
It's the future, so you've got to put makeup on. Like, because when they go to the scary bar later, everyone's got makeup on.
Was Ron Shannon not a
Del Shannon, you're thinking
there
of.
you go. There you go. That's the one. I was actually thinking of a wrestler, but okay.
Oh.
Mick Shannon?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And he is the... So, from what I can grasp, Endgame, right, is one person is on the lam, is running, and the other three people are trying to find them and kill them. So it's sort of like Running Man.
It's exactly like Running Man.
And also, the Hinterland is a shadow kingdom that can only sustain a provost or denier. It's all like made up stuff like that. So
But there's a league?
I thought there was like 300 people involved in it. Yeah, there's 300 people in the league, but that wasn't very clear at this point. And they're each given one firearm and then two other weapons of their choice. And
if you're found with another weapon, you're disqualified.
Yeah.
If you're being hunted, you can
hide.
No, you can hand yourself in, but you lose points.
Yeah.
You have to go for undiscover for 6 hours and then you can hand yourself in.
It's so confusing.
But you don't get any of the loot for doing that.
The loot is that the other people put in, the hunters put in.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. So they are betting against the fact that they're betting on themselves, really.
Yeah. But it was just very strange. But so Del Shannon has got his pistol, his trusty six-shooter.
He's about to run away.
Yeah, he's got a whip, Indiana Jones style, and he's got like a boot knife. He's a cool guy. He's got his cool like new rock goth boots on. I quite want a pair of them because they look like you're in Rammstein stomping about with them on. And we're introduced to the other hunters.
Oh my!
Right, and I like the fact
got
that
names.
I like the fact that all get to like get changed in a bullseye winning caravan.
Yeah, his opponents. Woody Aldridge is the first one.
He's the one that's dressed like a dragon lord from fucking Skyrim.
Yeah, I called him Alan Featherboy Jones.
That's a good name.
It quickly turned out that it didn't matter that I named any of these apart from the last one, who I put the most effort into.
The end game is very quickly over.
That's Arnold Vishlu from The Mummy and Die Darkman Die.
Yeah,
The Darkman.
Next up, we've got Gate Mantrax.
I've just put Deadly John Denver.
I put Kung Fu Cliff Richard.
There we go.
Oh, I've got Booty Izzard because he reminded me a little bit of Eddie Izzard.
He is a martial arts expert. I remember that.
Doesn't matter.
No, does not matter at all. Gabe Mantrax. It sounds like one of Jeremy and Super Hans' made-up band names, doesn't it?
And then last but not least, we've got Kurt Karnak.
Chris Rea.
Yeah, I'm having that.
All right. I went with Swarthy Leathers, and I've stuck with that throughout. I actually had to just double-check on Google that it was okay to use the term swarthy, and I think we're in the clear. Doesn't feel like it should be.
Swarthy's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I've never heard it used. I will say that, like, if he is supposed to be that he was billed as the number one, Bookie's favourite to win.
Yeah.
All his gear looked very new though. Like his leather jacket, like was pristine.
He's sponsored by the Leather Warehouse.
Yeah, maybe he's just doing so well that he's got enough money to get new gear.
He's been and treated yourself to some fine leather goods.
And so the game begins.
Shannon does a little run because he's the prey.
I like the fact that the guy checks all the guns as well. Like there's one guy who's like, "Yes, very good," and just passes them back to them. And I'm like,
By the way, this host of this of this telecast, non-union Jerry Seinfeld,
yes,
was advertising Life Plus.
Well, if you would like to take a second, we'll hear a little sponsorship from Life Plus.
You know the favorite food of Endgame champions? It's Life Plus. High-protein energy tablet that tones up your body fibers and maintains your sexual prowess. Be a man among men. Buy Life Plus.
Yeah,
so refreshing.
I mean, we're all drinking Life Plus right now. Yeah.
I've not been able to sleep in 72 hours.
tablet form and liquid.
Do yourself a favour, listeners. Get a Life Plus.
Plus. Ding!
was that your knob?
Side effect.
You will get a knob if you do Life.
If you had one already or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Finally. What is going on with this meeting on the Death Star, by the way? Wait, these old men having a meeting on the Death Star. Your parlour tricks don't impress me, Lord Vader.
It was...
Yeah.
I didn't understand, because they're like, the Endgame has started now, so no one will notice.
Yeah.
What?
I thought they were going to do something, yeah. but
No,
they didn't.
was it? Their thing was when they went and murdered all the poor people.
Yeah.
Is that what their
makes
plan
sense.
was? Because I couldn't figure it out. That's the only thing I could think of was
Because
their,
they
like,
all
purge.
look far too old to get out of those chairs. So
It's like
they're
Hitchcock
they're
and
not doing
Scully,
anything. Yeah, pretty
So,
much.
so the plan is that they're going to go away and murder all of the poor people and the
They're
mutants.
going to do a purge of the
So
mutants.
basically, it's the Tory Party conference.
Yes.
There you go.
Let's date this.
There you go.
Any
Any Tory Party conference, you could
Well,
be listening
to
to
be
this.
Well, when they don't exist in 2 years' time.
This is Endgame 2025.
So while Del Shannon, Christopher Lambert, is running through this one set that they've got, which I'm fairly sure is from Blood Fist as well. It
could
looks
be.
like the where that first opening bit is. These bad bastards, the police, basically... Because these people aren't mutants, they're just poor, aren't they? So they just massacre them.
Yeah. This woman screams before they kick the door through, which is really impressive. But then you realise that at least one of them probably knows it's coming.
She could be a mutant telepath.
She could, yeah.
I
Because
think they all have
telepathy in
different
this...
powers, don't they?
Yeah, telepathy, like Damien from The Omen is one of them.
Yeah,
I mean,
lifting.
really, the only ability they share is the ability to make a medieval soup kitchen, which they're running
Explains
out
the
of.
headbands. Yeah, all
Yeah.
the sort of lady-in-waiting hats that they're wearing.
And a little bit later on, the child's going to lift a X-wing out of a swamp.
Oh, could you? No, he wouldn't. And then he'd just throw it at someone. It's like, he's got a taste for blood now, as Matthew. So yeah, the police murder all these people. What was he called? Jimmy Feathers finds Del Shannon. They have a fight. Right, they're shooting guns at each other from like behind bins 2 meters away. And they run
He's
out
got a
of bullets.
spiky club, hasn't he?
And
That's
he's got
his
like
backup
this
weapon.
badass sort of
Spike
like,
with a nail in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, plank with a nail in it.
it
Spike
looks
with a
like
nail in it. What an
someone
idea.
on like if a serial killer went on Scrap Heap Challenge, it's what they'd make. Robert Llewellyn going, that's not a hovercraft, is it? And they have this fight, and he swings it, and he ends up killing. Jimmy Feathers swings it over the top, and Shannon sneaks around the back, stabs him. One hunter down.
And he pulls the knife out, and there's no blood on it.
Nope. Yeah, there is blood in this film, but only when they remember to put it in.
And then it's Booty Izzard's turn, the second one. He jumps down shouting, ha ha, kicks him about a bit. And I thought, why didn't you just shoot him?
This kicking scene, right?
It goes on for ages.
I was watching it at
Blood
normal
fist levels
speed,
of
this,
kicking.
right? And it went on and on. Like, evil Bill Gates just really loves kicking people. He also does one of the best karate moves ever, where he springs back and then springs forward and kicks him like up the head. And I was like, that's impractical at best, isn't it?
There's a karate chop a bit later, which I really like. It
that
came
was
straight out of Star Trek.
That was Shannon's preferred execution
Yes.
method for a while, and then he abandoned it. But this is like a 5-6 minute sequence of him just booting him to fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
and then there's a
constantly.
bit where Shannon is nearly dead and he goes up to him, and then it's time for even more booting him.
Yeah, well, he boots him and boots and boots him, and then he goes to strangle him, and Shannon, being the wily old sea dog that he is, possibly, pretends to be injured, plays possum, and then springs up, and then the kicking is reversed, and we get another 5 minutes of Shannon kicking fucking John Denver's face in. I don't know why. Like, it just felt, we've got 10 minutes to fill. Should we do, like, some choreographed fight sequences? No, we'll do that bit, though, where we put the camera there and have him kick at the camera, so it's like a POV sort of thing, which I like, because it's, it's
Tried and
fun.
tested, it works. My problem with all of this is that it was within about 20 square meters of the same industrial setting. It did have a nice backdrop that said no credit on the back.
See that?
don't know if they wrote it on or if it was just already there. But
Well, it's all supposed to take over. All the Endgame happens over like one block, isn't it?
I was a
Which
little
isn't
bit
that
disappointed
big.
by that. Yeah, I thought it was going to be this vast labyrinthine thing.
Like a Running Man style situation.
Yeah.
What's
that'd be
stopping
nice.
them all ganging up together and twatting him?
You don't get the credits then.
Oh, then they'd have to turn on. It'd be the
No,
first one to kill him.
The hunters can't kill each other, can they? That's not in the game.
Oh, I don't know.
But you
Maybe
wouldn't
on
wanna
the
be
ninth
last
day of
one.
the month or something.
If you know
When the egg
rules
is blue
of Endgame, write to us and let us know like the official Endgame rules. 'Cause-
Please. I do see this coming to BBC next year with Paddy McGuinness hosting it.
Yeah, Danny Dyer. Danny Dyer's Endgame. Get him, you slags. It'd be great. We'll have
No,
you have to
knifey,
be
no
Philip
likey.
Schofield. Philip
Alan-
Schofield with a big thing in the background. And
Alan
it'll be like
Carr
fuel
as one of the
bills or
hunters.
the
Yeah,
become prey for coin.
wanking for coins. Yes,
Climbing for dollars.
but yes. So he murders John Denver, and then Kurt Karnak strolls around the corner.
Swarthy leathers.
Shouting away. He's going, Shannon! Shannon! Come on, Shannon! And I'm like,
He's just
hang on
lost
a
his
second.
dog.
Is he looking for a little girl that's been hidden under a bed in West Yorkshire?
Fucking hell.
Shannon! Come on, Shannon, we miss you!
Niche references there to Yorkshire-based crimes.
Yeah, he actually manages to get him trapped in another subcomplex of this very tiny area. And Shannon runs into it. He does another little bit of a run. And Lilith is there and announces that he's in a bit of a trap and she can help.
Because she is psychic. And apparently, psychic works both ways.
Yeah.
Which
Because,
I don't think that's true, is it? Like, no other psychic in cinema has ever been like, it works like a walkie-talkie over.
It leads to some wonderful bit of dialogue because then Swarthy Leathers comes in and does a little nod at Lilith because she's still stood there and like, oh, I don't know who you are.
Was
It's a
she
bit awkward, isn't it?
invisible? Could she make herself go invisible? Because why wouldn't he have just killed her anyway?
He's not there to kill her, is he? It's
No,
like-
he doesn't get any money out of that.
I
so
don't
he
think it's
just
that
doesn't.
again, maybe you're not allowed to do collateral damage.
But
in
Shannon's
an
doing it.
Endgame.
He's doing a hide somewhere. Can't see where. And she says to him telepathically, he has death in his mind. Your death. And then he goes, are you a mutant? And she goes, yes. And you've got like their deadpan faces as that thought has just played
I
over.
think it's probably because none of these people can act, James, if I'm honest.
How dare you? Al Cliver, non-union Orange Cassidy, is tremendous as Ron Shannon, of just being like an off-brand Clint Eastwood squinting into the middle distance.
Oh,
constantly
there's a
all
lot of that. There's a lot of Sergio Leone rip-offs later on.
Yeah, but you got to bear in mind as well. The version that we watch is the dubbed version because I'm assuming
Yes.
this was originally recorded in Italian.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because when we get to meet Karnak's mate later on, hey, you wise guys, he was brilliant.
He's my favourite.
He should have been in this. It should have been that guy in the movie. So anyway, he says, "All right, well, I'm trapped," and she's like, "Listen to my advice," and then she goes, "Go!" And he whips the gun out of Karnak's hand, and then they have a rumble.
There's some mad barrel action going on.
He does throw
He
rolls.
goes Donkey Kong on him, doesn't he?
Yes, I've got that.
Absolutely hoying them down this thing.
It was clearly set up for that, and then the delivery of it was so lackluster. It was
He's
like
like,
we shouldn't
kick
have
him,
bothered.
kick him, Shannon, and he's like, "Oh, my ankle."
I've done so much kicking; it's withered.
There's a lot of barrel action because when we meet Thingy's mate later on, he throws a barrel at him as well.
We were all throwing barrels in the 80s.
I wish I could go back. They never mentioned that in that song, did they? It was respectable in the 80s to throw barrels at people. And he gets Karnak down and he pulls his knife on him and he's like, and the camera crew rushes
they turn
in
up.
with two cameramen covered in duct tape for some reason.
They come up because this is the only death that wasn't coincidentally near CCTV, so that they could capture it anyway. They found the one spot that
Well,
wasn't.
they said we've got cameras all around the city and remote control cameras and two guys dressed like make your own KKK outfits.
Disco KKK.
Yes. Redneck. Oh, well, they're all, yeah. And they're like, do it, kill him. And Shannon goes, no, I've won. He yields, sort of thing. I get the prize. And they go, oh,
He's the new favourite of the championship.
this
This
bewildering
game that never
endgame
ends.
championship.
Endgame that never ends.
Yeah, it should be called Never Ending Game.
It should be.
Yeah. He
With
doesn't drink
confusing rules.
He doesn't drink his Life Plus, which has been handed to him, which looks a lot like water. Boom, boom, guys. He hears Lilith calling for help in his mind. Goons are taking her away.
Hired goons?
Yeah, so he drops his life. I think he carefully hands the drink.
He goes, you drink it, and hands it to Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And then he runs off. Yeah. These two hired goons are dragging Lilith off. He does it. He tries to do like a pithy thing to them. They're like, "You can't tell us what to do," and he just boots them in the stones and kills them. Like, not one for subtlety. No James Bond style one-liners from Shannon. No, it's just boof to the sack, to the yam bag.
There's another little bit with the generals as well. They say that they want to get him back, and also an unspecified child, or, and I quote, "They will fail." Want to be any more specific?
Nope.
Yeah.
Lilith says, I need to hire you to get me and some other mutants out of the city to a safe location. And he goes, nah, fuck you. I'm not doing that. I'm Ron Shannon. And she goes, what if I introduce you to the head teacher from Boy Meets World?
Non-Union Mr Feeny?
What if I introduce you to
German
actual Ned Flanders?
Yeah, he's got a turtleneck, hasn't he?
He's
rocking that look.
And she shows him this room with Mr. Feeny and the boy
in a mutant caravan. It's another one. It's just made up of caravans.
This caravan was the exact same layout as my granddad's in the 80s.
Yeah,
and
it does look very familiar. I'm not saying I know that one, but yeah.
The rest of the city did actually look like Skegness, so why not?
Skegness Endgame.
1992.
Beating each other to death with sticks of rock. And he's like, we can't stay here because, like, the bad bastards are after us.
And also, don't use that toilet.
Into which we don't pass solids.
Yeah, he's not a
Come
mutant,
back to
but
my
a
apartment.
neurosurgeon. Yeah.
And then it explains that Mr. Feeny isn't a mutant.
He wishes he was one. He's well up for that, though. He wants to establish a race that's telepathic, and then they can conquer the world. And then the universe.
Yeah. I was like, that's not good, is it? Conquering. Conquering is not the word I would use. Like, assimilating into the rest of the world, like making the world a better place. Conquer is not a good word unless it's on a...
No, it's also not good done in a German accent either.
So he agrees. He sort of agrees because Lilith's like, "Oh, go on, I'll let you have a go on me fronties," and he's like, "Well, all right then, I guess." I need to put a group together though for some reason, and we get the best Dirty Dozen style recruitment scene ever.
Yeah, we go to Bull's gym, I think it is.
It is. Every kind of fighting happens in Bull's gym.
There's no rules in Bull's gym.
As long as you bring your own underpants and you're fighting nothing else.
Only I may wear an eye patch. Nobody else is allowed in Bull's gym.
The reason for that being is that Bull is pirate Javier Bardem.
Yes. Yeah. I'll have that.
Good.
I'll take that on.
He's great because he's Shannon's like, I need to put a group together. Bull says, nah, mate, all these people in here are fannies. You don't want them. And he goes, what about that dude just stood there flexing like the Ultimate Warrior? And he goes, oh, him, Ninja. And I'm like, fuck's sake.
I did get Eliminator feels from this particular character.
The one
his
Asian
name is
character in
Ninja.
it.
Yeah.
Keith Ninja, his name is.
Mr. and Mrs. Ninja.
Did he create the air fryer, the big expensive posh air fryer?
Could have done.
I do want one of those. Ones that's
I've got one. It's lush. It's
it's
worth the money.
Is it the one that's got the steam and grill?
Yeah, it does the lot.
function?
Does the fucking lot, mate. Yeah.
Oh, you rich
Who are
boy.
we sponsored by again?
Life Plus.
Be a man among men. Buy Life Plus.
Drink Life Plus and piss blood.
So Bull, who owns the gym, Bull's gym, he orders a man to attack the ninja. Ninja, so he could...
Not the ninja.
It's not his profession.
Just ninja. He's not the definite article.
Just so he can show off his skills, and Ninja just straight up murders a dude.
Hey, Paul, right, this was the bit that I was worried about, because Bull's gym is not a safe place to train, because that punching bag he was punching has a fucking machete hidden in it. And if you punch that wrong, but he goes, maybe he'll fight if he's attacked. All right, random kid, attack him. Random bloke makes a noise.
I didn't notice that.
He goes, wah! And then, Ninja just murders him, goes back to flexing. Bull goes to check his pulse, and Ninja goes, there is no point. He's dead.
Mans was just working out. It was leg day, for fuck's sake.
So if you're top advice from Last Orders, if you're ever in a gym and someone gets you to attack someone else, don't, because they will murder you.
Don't start on the one dude who looks like his name is Ninja either.
Don't start with the one guy who is named after killers.
Oh, but yeah, and so he's like, right, do you want to be on my team? And he goes, yeah, all right. Like, it's the weirdest bit. But then we get to the best bit.
Oh yeah,
where he Ron Shannon and his little golf cart pulls up to an abandoned office building somewhere.
Home to several rolling barrels. It's almost like tumbleweed in this universe, isn't it?
As he's walking along, a barrel rolls across, and he goes, and a guy behind him in a paintball camouflage outfit comes out, and he whips the gun out of his hand. But then we're introduced to Kovac's mate, and Mr. I've got that weapon that Feathers McGraw had before. And Kovac's mate is the best guy in this.
The greatest voice.
All three Stooges rolled into one.
These Kovacs and his gang look like Dad's Army if it was set in the D&D universe. And for some reason, they live in the Heidi High set. I couldn't quite figure any of this out.
Very gets them in, isn't it? Yeah. But I don't even know his name. Kovac's mate is like, I'm the king around here, see? And he's going, and Shannon just ignores him. He's not even entertaining this prick. And he goes, are you Kovac? And he goes, yeah, I am. And he goes, I hear you're very strong. And Kovac's mate is like, pay attention to me, see? And then he just what was it? If you say another thing to me, it'll be the last thing you ever say. And then they just recruit Kovac. Yeah. We never get to see Kovac's mate again.
They could have done with his mates as well.
Mm-hmm. He's a loose cannon, isn't he? Kovac's mate.
What, Jimmy High Pitch? I think so.
Mario Gabagool.
And then we get to a dive bar that's playing generic Doctor Who music in the background.
Yep.
And in the future, there is still pinball.
Yes. And Bar's Limeade, because that's all that Kovacs drinks.
Fucking hell, I didn't spot that.
Yeah, he's just got this glass of green pop.
That's all the names drink, isn't it? It's that Schweppes ginger ale again.
Schweppes ginger ale, yeah. Sponsorship.
The crew are sat down scheming, and Kijawa, I think his name is, Non-Union Ian McShane. I've got him down.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Don't know why he's got a Japanese name. Anyway, he walks in and they throw a knife at him, and he throws it right back.
Let's test his reactions. I thought there's better ways. Get him to juggle. I don't know.
It's that pinball machine there.
Yeah. See how good he is at slapsies. No, he just picks out, was it at the table, and then they all do a big thumbs up, and they're like, welcome to the team. Random dude.
So that's another piece of advice from us, that if you ever get any projectile thrown at you in a pub, you throw it right back.
Yeah.
There might be a job in it for you. Yeah.
He offers them all, he's going to be paid a big box of gold.
Yeah.
And he says he'll give them 2 bars of gold each for helping.
Right.
Knowing full well that no one's going to make it. It's a suicide mission, this. Shannon
I would have been
care.
a bit suspicious about the bars of gold, because that sounds like a very generic treasure, doesn't it? But it's spot on the money.
Yeah.
This doesn't skimp in treasure. It is actually that.
He says there's no money up front. We're doing this on like an honor system. And we cut to Karnak in a shooting range with a shotgun, just peppering the fuck out of everything with it.
Shooting through these moving things. I'm like, wow, you are very good at this.
Yes, but with a shotgun, not known for their accuracy, really, are they, at that range as well? But bless him, he's having fun with it. The general guy comes in, Colonel.
Yeah, I'd put him down as Captain Morgan. It's not.
It's Colonel Morgan.
I think that was
Major Morgan.
There's a reference for nobody.
Niche toy references. And he's like, they're going to move a load of mutants out of the city, and Shannon's involved, and he made you look like a right fanny. And he's like, I don't care. And he's like, "Oh, go and do it, and we'll give you a hat or an eye patch or something." I don't know. Like,
people's motivation in this is very woolly.
Yeah.
Shannon's is fine. He's doing it for gold. All of like the dirty dozen that he's put together, the crew he's put together.
You wouldn't trust even that. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, we get paid at the end." Like, there's no like, "Oh, we'll
Shannon's
pay you a gold bar up front."
He's king of the Endgame.
I know, but from his point of view, I'm saying
Top of the Endgame Premiership. He's not in the Endgame Beezer Holmes League, is he? Like, it's. So I guess like they're starstruck by it as well. I don't know.
I don't think they know how motivation works in this film, but I'll get to another bit where there's Lilith gathers all the mutants, all 10 of them.
There's 10.
And they march past the local idiots and skeletons in cages to the crew, who don't look at them. I think it's like shields. They don't know what cargo they're transporting, which is a plot point that was lost on me at the time.
Shannon hasn't told them they're mutants.
No,
he's just told them they're transporting something out into the desert. I think.
Yeah,
I'm sure he said it's people. It's people that want out of the city.
But not mutants. Pariahs. You don't care about them.
Yeah, all the old nanas and the people. A lot of wet rats in a bag.
It's just reminded me of that Knitted for Nanas advert. Horrible.
And the Russian Eurovision entry as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the babushkas. Not the one the year after with all the bouncy ladies. No.
Yeah, they learned from that, didn't they?
Yeah. It was from one extreme to another, that wasn't it?
So they travel cross country with two bikes.
They load them all into a Bedford Rascal.
Oh, it's got some miles on it. What they've used there.
Oh, it's a beautiful. It's not even a transit. But they've put like a gunner's nest on the top.
Yeah.
And there's a ladder that falls off constantly.
Yeah, not secured. They've got two bikes and a buggy as well, which turns up a lot in this.
Yes.
Until its fiery demise in Act 4.
A buggy that can fire, but never does.
Yeah. Oh, was that their buggy or was that somebody else's buggy?
I believe
because there
that
are multiple ones.
That's Ron Shannon's buggy, aka the Firebug. But they set off on this bewildering quest in no man's land.
They pull up by some scree to loot some corpses. The first of many screes. I was
a lot of scree, so you must have been happy with that.
I was.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had scree.
It has. I think we had a gong sound for the scree.
I'm not using that system anymore, though, are we? So,
no. Kovacs says, it's mutants, and spits on them. Which I thought was a bit tactless given his new employer, but it makes sense now that he doesn't
know. And like Lilith bites her tongue a bit, and does she not go into Shannon's brain and go like, "Ooh," and he's like, "Leave it, love. It's not worth it."
Yeah, the professor explains that their mutations that they see on the corpses are regressive involution, not devolution.
Because one of them's blue and he's like, when we were monkeys. And I was like, one of them looks like Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, very much so.
And then he's like, from when we were apes, or even when we lived in the sea. And I was like, we weren't mer people. We were fish.
We?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not Charles Darwin.
I've been watching a lot of Ancient Aliens on the History Channel.
Oh, Jesus.
A lot of those people that are upset about this new mermaid being black would have been happy because this mermaid man was green. So they'd have been happy with that, wouldn't they?
I guess. Surely they'd be silvery, though, because fish are kind of silvery. Yeah. Anyway.
The professor says that they're trying... he says that mutants in general are a better race. And I thought, you should stop saying that.
Again, it gets a bit sort of conquering, master race.
There is a little bit here where it's all I could see was when they're talking about the child. Too old the boy is. Train him, you cannot.
Because is this the bit where Lilith and the boy are mucking about near some water?
I think that's a bit later, but go on, it doesn't matter.
I mean, we've got a fight before then, I think, haven't we?
We've got the blind gang.
I'm sure it's before the blind gang, because Thingy shows
I
up
think it
at
was.
this point.
Yeah, I think
so
it was.
He's levitating this rock with his mind, and Shannon's like, what the fuck is going on here? And Lilith explains that he is one of the better mutants because he can move it. You control stuff with his mind and shit. But she shields him with her mind to stop him feeling emotions or some shit.
Oh, that'd explain his blank expression throughout the whole film.
Put it down to
that and the fact that he was literally...
Oh, come on, he was only about 9.
The Milky Bar Kid was only 6.
Mate. Yeah.
I think he's only got one other acting credit after this.
Is it
Milky Bar Kid advert?
It was for a TV series. I don't know I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it wasn't much long afterwards. And then he went off and became a Dog the Bounty Hunter. I don't know, but he didn't do this.
But yeah, they explained that all the water's poisoned because the world is dinged because of the atomic
Horrible,
wars.
yeah.
And it pans into this lake and then pans up, and we've got Karnak just watching.
Yeah, you shouldn't swim in that lake, by the way. Not because it's irradiated, but because it is a quarry. Don't swim in that
So,
lake.
Again, a lot of public safety advice today. No matter how hot it is, don't swim in quarries because it's deeper than you think, it's colder than you think, and there's things that'll touch your legs in there. Yeah. There's probably bodies in there.
Yeah. Things
it's
that
like
touch
a big
your legs.
Yeah, that's
Jimmy
deep,
Hoffa.
Deep water where you can't see the bottom. Nope, thank you.
No,
nope,
no,
not for me. It's body soup essentially.
Around this time, they encounter a village and they decide that they're going to go through it because there's no ring road for the settlement. So they decide to send 2 bikes into the town square. What happens next?
This is a blur to me. It's the longest scene in the whole film, but what is going on with these blind men?
So many of these monks.
Servants of the Lord, as they call themselves.
So they're stood there going, "Oh, right, we're in this barracks again. Looks familiar. Karnak, Kovac, is your mate knocking about here?" And he's like, from around the back of the building. But this dude, all in black cape up, face covered, comes out and he's like, "Welcome, friends. I am Spooky Jeremy. Let me, do you have? We are." And he's like, he's they're monks, I believe. They're supposed to be monks. Like that. And he's like, but do not worry because we cannot see. He takes off and he's got cataract eyes.
Yeah.
What are you selling? What are you selling?
To prove that he is blind, Shannon waves a gun at his face.
Yeah, they want food or new habits.
He says, "Have you got anything to trade?
Have
you brought food? Have you brought provisions?" And as he's saying this, thousands more of these monks appear.
With curvy swords.
The cloak manufacturer in that village must be doing a roaring trade.
Yep.
Lilith at this point explains that they have a telepathic prisoner who tells them stuff.
How can they see? They see through his eyes, but he's in a
He can't
room.
see them.
Yeah, he's looking at a wall we see later on.
Yeah.
The only windows boarded up.
And what's his motivation? He's been captured by them and strung up.
He looks like one of the Lost Boys as well, doesn't he?
He does look like
where does he come from?
One that gets pushed into the bathtub and explodes, yeah.
The darkest timeline one.
So anyway, as they get closer and closer, with all these lads with swords and Darth Vader capes on, just shooting happens, right? Yeah, and everyone's shooting everyone.
Bull's got loads of grenades.
It's brilliant.
Which only blow up one person at a time.
Yeah, and then everyone else runs away. Like that.
Yeah, because the telepathic man has been like, "Oh, there's been an explosion there. Run away!"
Oh, over there, you're getting shot at. Hide behind this barrel.
He must be coordinating dozens of people at a time. It doesn't make any sense.
He's a powerful mutant,
but
never see him again.
It works because they start to swarm the van, killing a crewman, I think.
Yeah, some random dude we don't know about.
Doesn't matter. Shannon does a sweet ramp off a bike. Don't know why.
Because it was there, mate. You got to do it, aren't you? You got 2 foot of air that time.
Ninja resorts to kick in.
Ninja just does kick in.
Yeah.
I love Ninja. Well, he uses a gun for a bit, but then he's
got a crossbow gauntlet thing. That's
All right.
Yeah, he's got a cuff bow. I'd called it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Because he pew and then
trademark that.
Kovac's just smashing people, bonking them on the head, comedy style with his giant hands. Someone, I don't know who it is. I can't remember what he's called. The guy that's up on the turret with the Inspector Gadget coat on and the bandoliers, because he features quite prominently.
Yes,
but he hasn't given. We never meet him.
I don't know.
Infinite bullets, by the way, in this truck, as we discover later in the film.
Well, if you look closely, the belt doesn't feed through at any point. No. But he's just going off the top of this thing. Shannon, being the hero, is like, well, we have to destroy the mutant and then they'll be blind. Yeah. So he finds the mutant, does some spin kicks, shoots some people with his never-ending bullet gun, and then, frees the mutant?
No, he lobs an axe at his head.
Oh, yeah. He kills him. Yeah, he kills him outright.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I missed that bit because I must have been too busy laughing. Because I think at one point they make the He-Man laser noise, and I was like, that's... And then everyone goes...
What does that then have on the rest of the monks?
They all go, I'm blind!
It's all gone dark.
Yeah, and then they're staggering around.
Well, surely it was like that before. You couldn't see. you could only see what the mutant saw,
Yeah.
and he couldn't see anything.
Listen, right? The mutant telepathy thing in this is sketchy at best, so best not to poke around in that murky swamp.
Yeah. And what was his motivation anyway? He was chained up by them, so
And they just then step around all these blind monks again.
Yeah, they just like fuck you.
Why are they all blind as well? That's never fully. But
radiation.
I do like. Yeah, it affects us all in mysterious ways. I like that they thought about the combat potential of a mutant. It's just paired well with a society of blind people didn't really work. But I like that they were thinking about it.
Took them ages to trap him.
I did think that as well. With the curvy swords, they just formed a ring.
But then, they peel out. They get onto the bikes and the buggy. The Bedford rascal pulls out, knocks one of them over, and runs his head over.
Yeah,
which I thought was gratuitous but fun. Yeah, and that was the.
I thought that was the tagline for the film, to be honest.
And that was the fight. That was the Black Monk fight.
At this point, we're about 60 minutes into this 94-minute film.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, mate, it moves along at a breakneck pace now.
Yeah, they start approaching a building with Son of Death written on it, which is full of dead and sacrificed people, one with a boob out.
We're getting to the boob section of the film now, aren't we?
We are, yes.
Because there has to be one, exploitation film. They're driving along, and all of a sudden, every dirt bike in Italy shows up.
Immortan Joe and his junior Kickstarters.
Aquatic Mr. Alsatian. He's driving along, big blue fish boy, with two women with no tops on. But string under their boobs, which I thought was impractical.
It was a weird choice. Also, one of the sacrificed boob ladies from the start wakes up suddenly. It was all a trap. Whips Shannon up the arse. That was really good. Yeah. And all the corpses come to life. Professor gets stabbed.
He gets murdered up right through his acrylic jumper. It's
his last day before.
And he's like, it could have been a beautiful world. Or some shit, I don't know.
He says something about saving the mutants, and then he expires. And they were all like, well, he was a bit racist.
Yeah, but they always are academics, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then this big...
Take that, society.
The big fight ensues. Another big fight, because, again, this film is mostly fights at the point now. Everyone...
Kovacs as well. He gets suspicious of Lilith because I think he's only just met her. She must have jumped out of the van or something. And then says that they're all mutants. So he kind of cottons on very quickly what's going on, and they're transported mutants. And he's got a very strong moral code, does Kovacs, and it doesn't extend to mutants.
Apparently so, yes.
He's got a very high tolerance for sound thresholds hanging out with his mate, but not mutants.
And then this, infinite amount of dirt bike people come in and get shot.
I got confused by this because they were just swarming around.
Yeah, a lot of people doing skids through puddles. A lot of people just falling off bikes.
There's a man with a leopard skin hat as well.
Oh, there's a guy with a winged Thor helmet.
Yeah.
It's great.
A fleecy bike.
There's a lot of fur sellotaped to bikes in this, which
all the fun of the fair.
I thought it was filmed in the factory from RoboCop. This.
Yes, it has very big, just sad industrial zone vibes, doesn't it?
It was very good. I loved all the locations in this. It's sheer, just drab.
Yeah,
post-apocalyptic scenery. 80s Italy was where it was at, apparently.
Kajiwa's shooting people. He shoots one guy who then crashes his dirt bike into a wall behind him, which I don't think was meant to happen, but it was funny. And then there's just a load of people, shooting.
Some of them grab Lilith as well, and then
she tries to get into the Bedford Rascal and start it, but being a woman, she can't. And so she gets kidnapped. The two booby women help hold her down, which I was like, solidarity sisters, but whatever, it's the future. And then they peel off with her. Shannon's doing Shannon stuff, ramping his bike off things and, striking poses left, right and centre.
I think his plan was to make other people run out of ammo, which actually is his tactic in the Endgame itself, which I'm not sure is over. But he's nicked the fleecy bike. Must be because it looked like spring or possibly winter. He must have quite liked that fleecy bike underneath him.
It's warm. He drives it down this ginnel, and he's like trying to put bullets in, but people keep attacking him. So he's like, this is a nightmare. I can't remember which ones are used and which ones aren't now. By this point, Ninja is doing his kicking at the side of a road. He fires his gun jams. He takes his sword out, stabs one dude, and then immediately gets murked.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, you're not very good, are you, Ninja? But Shannon is trapped in this ginnel. All the bad slags are there, driving down in his buggy, I think it is, with the flamethrower on it.
Yeah, that's why I got confused. I thought it was theirs, but yeah, they just love nicking.
But then, here I go stealing again. But then Ninja appears in a car, and just basically does like a fucking Dom from Gears of War and just crashes into this thing, killing himself in the process.
And again, what was his
Witness
motivation?
me! But I did look. If you looked closely in the driver's seat, there was a little guy in a headband, like in the model or whatever it was. Yeah, which I thought was nice. Shannon doesn't even stop to go thanks or anything, or even give him a little prayer or anything. Nah, he's fucking straight off back on the dirt bike. He's off. Karnak has appeared and he's helping them now for some reason.
Yeah, he's sort of skulking in the. Yeah, he was sort of skulking for a while. He's caught up with them, but he pretends to be on Shannon's side, which I can't believe Shannon was taken in by that. But
anyway. he takes the Bedford Rascal.
He suggests that he's going to help, and that something. I think it's kind of like the greater good.
Yeah.
And then a little bit later on, there's a mention from Layla where it's kind of like, should I trust him? His intentions are not right, or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah. Lila's just a fucking nemesis, isn't she?
Anyway, they tell the others to take the van and go to the rendezvous, while he, Shannon, and Swarthy Leathers go back to the. It's a prison, but it looks a lot like a brickworks, and it does say brickworks on one of the walls.
But also on one of the other walls, it has Antworld spray painted on it. So
I got nuclear, fuck, and animals, and I can't make a sentence out of that makes sense.
Fuck animals, easy.
Fuck nuclear animals.
I mean, all of these things, and then Antworks. Yeah. Also Kovac has been kidnapped. He's been taken prisoner, and for some reason they have sealed him up in a wall, mouth and hands first, Go on.
We go into this lair with them all sleeping, and it was massive Jabba's Palace rip-off stuff, including the fact that he'd been putting carbonite, or at least Italian-American carbonite, I guess.
Quick setting concrete.
He's in exactly the same place as Jimmy Hoffa.
They would have had to have held him in position while they did all of that, and then held him for a bit longer while it's
set. Yeah, and also concrete heats up anyway, so he would have cooked.
Yeah, and without meaning to steal a James fact, which I know you'll have this one, James, that if you were to bury somebody in concrete, the concrete sucks out all the moisture in your body, actually causing your body to explode. There you go.
I think you've way overestimated my abilities.
See, you could have had that one for free. You just had to tell the listeners. Oh, of course I had that one.
Yeah, but because I was when they were panning around the room of everyone being asleep, I was like, "Why is there a man in the wall?" And then I was like, "Oh, I hope it's not what I think it is."
I hope he doesn't get his head turned upside down.
No wonder he's begging for death. Yeah. But you can't see the other side of that wall. Somewhere to park your bike, if nothing else. The old jokes are the best, aren't they? But they can't get through because there's a fence there. So they decide to find some rope and climb over it. For some reason, the Blue Fish Man has trapped Lilith. Like Jabba had the gold chains on Leia. This guy, bit of string, same thing, innit? It's work with what you've got. So they find some rope, they throw it over a thing, and then they climb up. And they're like, as they're climbing down, some guy sort of wakes up a bit.
Yeah, Jamiroquai. I've got him down. It's before he got big.
Yeah, for some reason, he goes, Swarthy Leathers, you take him out, I'll get the girl. And Swarthy Leathers is like, okay, but we could just wait till he goes back to sleep and then do it.
Because everyone's asleep.
He's like, no, go and gently tickle him with a knife. Oh, okay. So it takes Shannon ages to climb down that fucking rope as well. Swarthy Leathers, 2 hands and he's down there. Yeah. The guy in the mutant in the car thing just grabs a bottle of wine, has a drink, goes back to sleep. And Karnak comes over.
Oh, go on.
Karnak just comes over, puts his hand on his mouth, and then, gently taps his neck with the knife, and then he's dead. And I was like, is it a magic knife?
And then he very conscientiously puts his beer down very carefully next to him.
Yes.
I like that.
Shannon rescues Lilith, and they climb back. He's like, "You get out of here, climb up the rope." So they both climb up. Shannon taking fucking ages, like me climbing up. Should have tied knots in it, I'd have been better then. They go up there, and then as Karnak's about to climb it, oh no, they see Kovac, and Lilith goes, he wants to die. So Karnak
he can't speak, can he?
He can't make any noise because everyone will wake up.
Yeah, but he doesn't even whisper. I think he can't speak. He's subjected to some form of cruel and unusual punishment anyway. And
yeah,
he's in a wall.
Front and back, mate. The human finger trap.
Yeah.
Lilith goes, he's begging for death. Karnak, not missing a beat. I'll fucking do it. You get out of here. I just love killing.
That clock needs to be pointing to 1 o'clock about now, doesn't it? It fixes it, and yeah.
Just grabs his head and rotates it. And I was
causes a lot of blood.
And dribble.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I didn't understand where the blood would come from, because he's just broke his neck. But anyway, one of the mutants underneath wakes up and he's like, oh, it's all sticky. I shouldn't have fallen asleep under this human glory hole. And then he shoots the rope as Karnak's climbing up it. And I'm like, you can hit a fucking rope, but you can't hit a bloke that stood there. This is the problem with you mutants.
My next favourite bit of dialogue at this point, Shannon and Lilith are running away and they hear gunfire, and then Lilith says, he's not dead, but I sense he's in trouble. It's like, oh no shit.
Fucking hell.
You think he's in trouble, do you?
Is there anyone here whose name begins with S? I think to which Shannon responds with, the Endgame makes its own rules, or something along those lines. I'm like, yes, it fucking all the way through this film it does. But they're all setting on him, and he went, hear him shooting. They drive off, because of course they fucking do, and they catch up with the Bedford Rascal.
Which is at another quarry.
Which is another fucking quarry.
They've gone from a series of quarries to their location, which is a quarry.
In the future, all houses will be quarry-based.
It's just quarry after quarry after quarry.
The Bedford Rascal drives through a big puddle, and I was concerned that it was going to get stuck. And Shannon ramps down the side of this thing and looks quite cool on his dirt bike. Yeah. And then we're near the end now, people. So, now's when the plot kicks in.
Yeah, because everybody turns up at this point. 2 police riot vans show up. The big box thing from before. And yeah, Shannon does what he does best. Goes off on his bike. Gets, shot at for a while.
Yep, does some jumping over stuff. Sweet. Does a 180, does some kick flips.
It was very, set myself on fire.
But one of the, Colonel Morgan is there, and he's like, you bastard. For some reason, I hate you. And I don't know why, because it's never been fully explained.
They force some mutants out of the van as well, get them to line up along the van. Not got good vibes about where this is going.
And then
with the SS.
We get Shannon, using his newly acquired psychic powers, goes, Tommy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think...
Tommy, can you hear me?
Lilith acts as a kind of intermediary telepath. So now, I was hoping there could be all sorts of things.
She's the string between their 2 tin cans.
Tommy, can you hear me? No, this is Keith. Oh, right, Keith, is Tommy there?
Can you put Tommy on? And he's like, Tommy, now's your time to shine. Fuck him up, son. And Tommy goes, right. Activate the wind machine. And basically, he psychically controls the infinite gun, shoots a load of them, but not in any sort of order that would make sense, because the one at the back falls over, then one at the front falls over. I'm like, that's not how bullets work, but it's fine, it's the future. Some of the future police try and climb up some scree, but get boulders dropped on them, which I thought was nice.
Takeshi's Castle.
Like some big styrofoam boulders folded on. That's nice, isn't it?
Well, they're pretty much rocking those cars that they have at the end of Takeshi's Castle, aren't they?
Yes. The end game is you've got to try and break the paper ring with your squirt gun. He drops a car on some of the other policemen as well.
Very slowly and very carefully lowers it onto them. They've done the risk assessment that day.
And then he's like, Colonel Morgan is doing great. Oh no, my hand's betraying me, acting. And then for some reason, instead of keeping his mouth closed, opens his mouth and shoots himself in the head. I don't know what difference it would have made, but I just thought it was a strange thing to do.
Yeah.
And then all that stops, and then I genuinely thought, oh, what the fuck now? Because he's like, all right, we're all cool and safe now. and then a helicopter comes in, and it gets alarmingly close to that wall of the quarry.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, fuck it, am I going to watch one of those Faces of Death style situations here? But no, it just lands.
It really needed more Twilight Zone going on in this, to be honest.
Yeah. Two lads carry this fucking, like, ammunitions case full of gold over, which I'm fairly sure that helicopter wouldn't be able to take off with that on it.
But it also takes off with about 7,000 mutants in it.
We all know mutants are hollow inside, so it's fine. They give it him, and they go, cheers for that, as promised. And Shannon just goes, that's all he does. He just squints. And they go, right, bye. And Lilith goes, you can come with us if you want. And he's like, no. All right, fuck you then.
Oh, come on. He's got some actual dialogue at that bit. He says, Lilith, look inside of me. Read my thoughts. You are the future. I am the past. And could have added, all I know is stabbing. I'd be useless in this new mutant race. Where are they going anyway? New race society.
Is there room in the New Mutant Society for a bloke who just razzes round on dirt bikes?
Probably.
Deliveroo guy. Society. Yeah.
Hello, is that the pizza shop? No, Tommy, it's me again. Get out of my brain. It'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it? If everyone could read each other's thoughts, it'd be a fucking nightmare. So yeah, like all 10 of these mutants and the two guys get into this very small MASH-style helicopter.
Suicide is pain.
And then, who should appear but Karnak? He survived.
Yeah. Somehow.
He's not dead, but he is in danger. And they both sort of stare at each other.
Yeah, he says, we haven't played the final round of Endgame yet. Because it's not ended.
I thought it had.
It will never end.
There's no end to Endgame.
Look at the ball. It's going to move.
Don't think about the event. And then, like, he pulls his knife out, and then it's like the end of Rocky.
Yeah.
They charge at each other in this quarry. Freeze frame, credits.
Beautiful.
And I was like, I enjoyed that. It was just the right level of silliness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm ready to give it a rating.
I'm
going to go for 3 silver crates of golden ingots, but they're still silver.
Oh mate, I can't work like that. That's alchemy.
Yeah, I'd put it as middling. I didn't like it as much as, say, Interzone. Interzone was another Italian film on the podcast a few months back.
Whatever episode that is.
That had me entertained with the special effects and everything. But yeah, it's middling.
There is a whole series of these Italian Mad Max ripoffs, isn't there? So that might be a season going forward. I am going to give this 5 silver mutant detectors that have a limited radius of like 2 centimeters.
4 wet rats.
Oh.
I was going to go with Life Plus tablets as well.
Oh, he refuses to drink it, doesn't he? At one point, there's a point where he refuses to drink it.
You can't condone that behaviour. Yeah. Always drink your Life Plus.
Be a man among men. Buy Life Plus.
Okay, so that was 1983's Endgame, Bronx Ladder Finale, which means Bronx Final Fight, although it was never released in Italy initially on VHS. I think it was a bit longer for that to come out in Italy. Their loss. It was also known as The Gladiator of the Future in France, The Last Game in Hungarian, and The Last Game with Death in German.
Oh,
wow!
That's good.
It makes more sense than Endgame Bronx Ladder Finale, but yeah.
It's a beautiful language, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that was released 1983, same year as Return of the Jedi, Octopussy, Superman 3, yeah, all of those. But it was mainly a Mad Max ripoff. It was produced by Filmer Rage, who went on to produce Troll 2 in 1990, which is widely rated as one of the worst films ever.
It's alright.
Yeah, we're not going to cover it.
Other people have done it better.
It was directed by Stephen Benson, not his real name. He also goes by Joe D'Amato. That's not his real name either, which
Jesus Christ, what wheels within wheels nonsense is this?
What's Joe D'Amato with you?
Nah, even.
Aristide Masakesi, I'm going to have a stab at his name with.
Also known as...
We've got this theory that, the more names that a film has, the worse it is.
Wow.
he is a he was a director, produced nearly 200 director credits overall, 120 of those being porno films, including Porno Holocaust.
What?
And his first credit in 1972 was More Sexy Canterbury Tales. Don't know where mid-season he fell.
Do you like Canterbury Tales? Do you want more?
The Catholic Church have made a few changes. He was the producer for Interzone that we watched a while back. So if there is a similarity, I mean, it does make sense. Mid-80s Italian budget films is very much his ballpark.
I genuinely
his
think...
other ballpark is different.
Is that one of his? The ballpark?
It probably is.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they just went out to locations and shot stuff all at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then just cut it into different films.
Of all his movies, he said that he liked this one the best. I've got a quote here. Each time I make a movie, it's a little bit better than the last. I'm not young, but I'm very enthusiastic. And then in 1991, he said, in response to, what about Endgame and Anno 2020, Gladiators of the Future, which were shot simultaneously? And he said, those two films were made to exploit the success of Mad Max. So there you go. There's no love lost there.
Don't hide it. No, fully lean into it, son.
I don't feel like he was a man that hid much. Shannon was played by Al Cliver, real name Pierluigi Conti, which is the most Italian name I think I've ever read.
And a bit of French thrown in there as well. Why is everyone AKA in this fucking film?
Yeah, literally.
To sell the West, I guess. Well,
he gave up acting in the 1990s to go and buy and sell furniture. In 2004, he was listed... Absolutely true. In 2004, he was listed as working at a flea market in Rome, and now you can stay with him in a luxury villa in Bali called Balivini. Balivellini.
Oh, come on!
Which is described as affordable. I was tempted.
That's what you want on your holiday, isn't it? Like, it's there.
I would. I would.
Look up how much it is. That's holiday next year sorted.
I couldn't find it. I was very much tempted to write in. It's got lots of reviews on things like TripAdvisor and everything, saying that Luigi, the host, and his wife Brenda, I think, were
not
very...
Brenda.
No, Brenda from last time.
No, Brenda from last week.
If it was, I'd have more questions for her, to be honest. But they seem like quite pleasant.
My husband was in Endgame and there were no Christmas trees. 10 out of 10.
Lilith was played by Lorette Marcia Gemser. She was born in Indonesia and cast by Stephen Benson, Joe Armato, pick a name, any name, in the Emmanuelle series in the 70s, and was a long-time softcore actress. She later drifted into costume design, which was clearly a mistake, because she provided the costume design and coordination for Troll 2, and then I think did nothing after that. All her quotes on IMDb for her films feel like she's very confused about that period of time, which makes me feel very sad about her career.
Cocaine's hell of a drug.
Ninja was played by Haruhiko Yamanouchi, and he began his career as a mime. He also starred in The Life Aquatic in 2004, which is probably his biggest credit. And there you go. Just a couple more. Karnak, Swarthy Leathers. That was George Eastman, not his real name. Luigi Montefiore. He also co-wrote the script. He's now a well-regarded author in Italian television and acts only occasionally. He later said, the idea was all right, but like all the others, it was made on too small a budget. These post-atomic films, which were made in the wake of various Mad Max films, were decidedly crummy. The set designs were poor, and the genre met the swift and well-deserved death. And then apparently he did the DVD extras. There's a 15-minute interview with him, apparently, and he's highly critical of the stunts in this. So, a bit of a downer, but then we'll pick it back up with Captain Morgan, Gordon Mitchell.
AKA?
It's his real name.
Oh!
Real name?
Oh, I thought he was going to be called, like, Sevi Ballesteros.
I don't know that it's his actual name, but he's not an Italian. So he actually served in World War II on the Allied side. And he was actually at the Battle of the Bulge, where he was captured. So he had what a story to tell. Later served in Korea, became a bodybuilder. Arnold Schwarzenegger attended his funeral memorial service, and he has 152 acting credits, including a bit part in Spartacus. I mean, as one of like many in the crowd going, He later went on to star in Terror Force Commando 1986, which is about a Cameroonese police officer and a CIA agent who tried to prevent the Pope from being assassinated by Italian terrorists during his African tour.
That sounds like a lot of words there, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of locations in that. Cameroon, Italian terrorists, and the Pope. And,
Just eat the Pope.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Katie had suggested that Martha Harrison directed it, daughter of George Harrison, and said that it was better than anything her dad ever did. And I was like, I'll try and pass that off as a fact then, shall I?
I mean...
Okay.
And there, them's your facts.
Reviews for this are overwhelmingly positive, and I can
bet.
see why. It is a little nice slice of cult nonsense, but I will find. I'm sure we've had before this reviewer. No Gods, No Masters 26. It sounds familiar to me. With a 4 out of 10. Endgame is an event where 3 guys hunt another guy in an urban environment. Ron Shannon is being hunted and wins. In this post-atomic world, mutants are being killed. One such mutant has telepathic abilities and needs to leave the cities. She hires Ron and his cohorts to get her party out as they enter a Mad Max type of world. This is a Me Too film and was not done well. Really couldn't get into it. That's not a review. That's telling me what happens in the film. But yeah, and everything else was like glowingly positive.
I mean, I don't understand that one because I thought the start to that was probably the best bit of it, and then it just ran
it should
out
have been
of
more
ideas
about.
as it went
The
along.
film was called Endgame. It should have been about Endgame. It's like if you
Yeah.
watch Running Man and all the Running Man stuff's over in the first half hour, and then Schwarzenegger sets up a fucking jam shop somewhere. It doesn't make sense. Like, make them 2 separate films. Endgame, have them play cat and mouse in an urban environment, and then have Endgame 2, let's fuck about in a quarry. Only in Italian, so it sounds classier.
Correct.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
9 out of 10. One of the best of the genre. Dirk 2756. Endgame is set in a hollowed-out metropolis in the year 2025. Futuristic. People are entertained by the ultimate reality show called Endgame. It's really what Survivor should be. Confusing. Ron Shannon is Endgame's greatest champ. Kurt Karnak is his bitter rival. During the game, a mutant helps Shannon to defeat Karnak but spares his life. Bad move? Shannon is then enlisted by a band of mutants attempting to escape the city. Of course, a suitcase full of gold sweetens the deal, and he rounds up a band of cutthroats, including Ninja, the coolest guy in the film. But he dies too quick. There are many great fight scenes, one involving blind monks, and another with a gang led by a man who is half fish.
Yeah,
The fish
I'm
guy is
laughing,
involved
but I've seen
in a
it.
very disturbing scene that we glossed over. Eventually, the number of the group is whittled down to Shannon, but the mission gets accomplished anyway. Shannon is asked to join the mutants, which he doesn't do. Not too smart, because Lilith is pretty hot. Wouldn't you know it, as the chopper flies out, out comes Karnak to battle Shannon for the gold. The movie ends just as the battle starts, which is actually a very cool way to finish. I love this movie a lot. The first third is a bit slow, but once they leave the city, the action is non-stop. The battle with the blind monks is amazing and exciting. Motorcycles and gunplay highlight the scene, as all the scene is motorbikes just crashing into each other, innit? The next battle with a group of mutants is just as cool, except Ninja dies here, and I must say that blows big time. He's a big bonk on for Ninja, this lad, hasn't he? Who did nothing, really. He did like 2 kickings. Endgame also has a very depressing feel to it. It really is very bleak. This was the bit I picked this one for. Man seems to be digressing by way of mutations, and while Lilith's group seems to be advanced, they are hunted down out of fear. To be honest, this bleakness is what appeals to me.
Wow.
Ron Shannon is played by Al Cliver, and his performance is understated at best. But it works here. The real show stealer is George Eastman as Kurt Karnak. He dives into his role with flair. He's ruthless and amoral, just what a post-nuclear world needs.
I mean, thanks for your dissertation there, Dirk 2756.
It was more the I like the fact this world is awful.
Yeah.
But
What does that say about me? Yeah. I mean, he described the monk situation as amazing. I would have said that it was incredible and that you couldn't credit it at all with ever having
it
existed.
was a bewildering series of events that happened. I mean, that's it. There is no more to say about this film. In conclusion, that was 1983 Endgame, aka Endgame, the final fight. also known as, what was it, Gladiators of the Future Meet Death.
The Last Game with Death.
Also, yeah, goes by many names.
It does.
A good romp, worth hunting down if you want to watch, a load of dudes on dirt bikes popping wheelies constantly.
Who doesn't?
Your favorite lines from the film?
Are you a mutant? Yes.
Yes. We also glossed over the line where the Blue Mutant says, "You really know how to turn me on."
Look at me while I abuse you, damn it.
Yeah.
I sense he's in trouble. Pew, 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 pew.
But he's not dead. Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
What if I set it on a dragon? What if I set it on that dragon that those blokes are singing about?